And good evening. Welcome to the Deltahead stream. I am James Howell, and tonight we are doing what I expect will be the final stream of Echo Night Beyond. We've made it. I think there are 4 different endings, and we're right at the threshold of needing to make whatever final choices we need to in order to sort of realize those. So we can see all of them that we can. So yeah, pardon me, I'm a little groggy. Just put a child to bed and did a little bit of method acting myself. So I just kind of woke up from a nap, effectively. Yeah. So let's see here. Get chat up on this iPad. There we are. Slowly. Good. So I think we are about to do some of the final puzzles. We freed a lot of ghosts at the end of last stream, and then the cyborg came in and uttered something cryptic and benign, and then left. Bizarre. So show and tell. Let's see. While looking for something for a friend, I came back across these mysteries of the space age flying saucers. These old Ray Palmer edited pulp enthusiast magazines from the 60s and 70s. About UFOs. So these with this would be the print equivalent of what would be like a website today, right? Let's see, like officialdom and the flying saucer, and other things. Let's see, flying saucers in science fiction. 2 couples flee a hovering light. So these sort of speculative and first-hand account pieces of writing, and I was looking for probably my favorite vintage UFO writer. His name is Peter Kor, K-O-R, and that is the pen name that he published under. That was not his real name, I later found out. And this is a little gap in the internet's bank of knowledge, because I can't seem to find any archive of his stuff, and he is not searchable under any kind of larger archiving of these old pulp magazines. So this isn't the entirety of his legacy, but his legacy is entirely in physical media. He's interesting because he writes about UFOs from a perspective of speculating on what the phenomena means as a perception. And it's several ranks above kind of what I'm used to seeing in speculative writing for UFOs. Evening, Dream Bombs. Good to see you again. It's been a while. Yeah, it's a few steps above what I'm used to seeing in speculative UFO writing, because he isn't really interested in the factuality or the actuality, materiality, I'm going to say, of the of UFOs, but that they are perceived by consciousness and what that perception might mean. And it could mean something like we are coming into a new depth of cosmic awareness, and these UFO impressions are a screen of those perceptions. Basically, to the extent that owls are seen as screen memories of encounters with alien greys. UFO, he's sometimes suggests that UFO encounters are screen memories of encounters of whatever next stage of consciousness we might be reaching, and a host of other very odd conclusions and speculations. So yeah, it's good stuff. And it's the backs of these things always have some occult secret society kind of thing on the back, like this right here. This is an ad. What secret power did this man possess? And clearly, at first glance, that is Benjamin Franklin. But on even closer glance, it's like zombie Benjamin Franklin. Man is not well. It's not well, and it is excuse me. It is a book for it is an ad for a book titled "The Mastery of Life" by the Rosicrucians. It's hard to know which Rosicrucians they are, because it is highly unlikely that they are the medieval secret society within the church, devoted to, I believe, Mary. So it seems unlikely they would be advertising on the backs of $1 UFO magazines. Yeah, so that's what I got. It's been a pretty light week. Eating Mahafun. Let's see. What else there? There's more did next. Oh yeah, I got this. This is a neat little book. And for those of us who have been online, it's this is an engaging read. It's called Strange Rites: New Religions for a Godless World. And it tracks the decline of mainline Protestantism from the Cold War era onward, and posits that that the conclusion that people are less spiritual or less religious is often drawn from decreasing church attendance numbers. And what she's arguing is not that people are becoming less religious, they're just forming new religions that are non-theistic. And this is intriguing. And then the religions that she identifies are basically internet social phenomena. There's she points out social justice, hyper techno-futurism of the sort of singularity sort of Ray Kurzweil and Elon Musk and the like, and atavistic macho sort of culture, and it's compelling. It is a compelling thesis, and she doesn't just throw the word religion at those groups without qualification. She does the work of defining what would constitute a religion in terms of unifying people by a core agreed upon problem of evil, an individual's relationship within it, rites and practices, and a host of other things that go back through the scholarship of anthropological scholarship of sort of defining these structures and practices. And she does illustrate how these do sort of serve, how these can serve those functions for a large body of people, so it is compelling on that front. The main criticism I have of it is it is very online, in a sense. It does focus on these phenomena as they show up online and are sort of pursued online, because one of her big ideas is that, evening Iceman, Dan, it's good to see you. No, I think that there are. I have said, without going too far into it, that there are certain cultural forms that, even if somebody disagrees with the metaphysical claims of Protestant Christianity, that the cultural forms of ways that we organize and structure our expectations, are sort of narratives, aren't just spontaneously reinvented because we reject the claims that sort of underlie them. And to that end, I think that those practices are still pursued under different forms that might match somebody's beliefs better. But yeah, no, it's worth a read, and I would be interested in seeing that thesis pursued with more integration of offline behavior and tracking behavior thrown in. Yeah, worth a look at. Yeah, night owls. All of us night owls. I made the mistake of falling asleep for 3 hours early in the evening a couple of nights ago this week, and it just completely destroyed me. I was awake till I think I fell asleep at like 6 a.m. Something bonkers like that. Got 2 hours of sleep. But yeah, with all that, I think we're ready to hop on in. See if we can finish this up before you head to bed. Do, 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 do. What is that obnoxious buzz? I don't know if you can hear that, but I sure can. Like, I'm really curious, do you hear a sort of a background hum that intensifies whenever white, bright images appear on the screen? Let me turn this down then. Maybe that's it. Okay. Good, good. It might be an artifact of my TV, which would be the ideal problem, because I can put up with annoyance on my end, AV wise, on a stream, but if it is interfering with the actual y'all's experience, then that's a problem. How are you, Dream Bomb? It's been a while. All right. It might also be part of how the I don't know. It's an analog signal out, so maybe there's maybe that's part of behind it. Oh, no, catching folks across time zones is very difficult, and I'm grateful for those who are the other side of the Atlantic, for whom my streaming hours are a bit out of reach when they can show up. So I'm glad you're here. Okay, so where am I? Which room am I in? And to let you know sort of how this has gone, Dreambomb, this game is quite difficult as an adventure game. It is difficult to find key items in the environment. It is not intuitive which key items go with which things, and sometimes even if you figure it out, you can be stymied by the camera not being in the exact right position to interact with something crucial. So it's it has a lot of rough edges that the other Echo Knights games didn't. So to that end, I am using Game FAQ to get us through that, and even using that method, this game is 8 streams in. Yes, I commune with the sandworms. Yeah, I did too, and that's one of the reasons why I'm frankly stunned that I think it's a bad game. The Echo Knight series is one of my favorites, and this disc itself, just disc alone, no complete in box. The disc alone was something like $110, which I had the good fortune at one point to have as expendable. Yeah, yeah, I picked it up and I'm like, wow, this is $110 disc only for its rarity, not necessarily for its quality. I think this would be this it's a rough entry. So airlock, lunar surface. Okay, so I'm going back out onto the surface. Rest area. Where's the rest area? All right, that's the rest area. Well, thank you. I appreciate that. The only Paul Atreides I know is Kyle MacLachlan's. Dune is a series that I think I would love were I to properly get into, but I have not. Go to the door on the right. Work area hallway. Is where we're headed. Okay. Dune makes me like the prospect of reading Dune makes me yearn for like times in my I don't know, like early 20s when jumping into a long story epic would not have been a burden. Not burden isn't the right word. It was something that I would just have time for, and wouldn't detract from any other thing I'm doing. Evening, Arcs. Good to see you. How are you, Arc? Alright, oxygen production plant. Go down to the walkway. To my right. Electrolysis extraction. Straight down here. By mythos and logos, do you mean like those words in particular, or the mythos and logos of Dune in particular? The airlock on the other side of the room. So not that. We're going back out into the moon surface. God help us. Gotcha. Yeah, logos. Logos has been a word that has been very meaningful to me at different points in time, as a philosophical and theological concept. So it's intriguing that the stream sort of conjures that for you. Mythos, likewise, but less often. Oh no, 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 no. Oh God, we're fine. Okay, we're fine. We're backing away from the lunar edge. Oh man, the moon hates you. Ethos and pathos are excellent as well. As a poet, pathos has and storyteller, pathos has been my friend more regularly. Okay, lunar surface. Okay, so jump over the gap and head to the left. Okay, I can't run quickly here, so I can just jump and hope to God. Alright, good, good, good. Alright, this guy right here. Was he the one who needed the music box? Mr. Gold. Oh yeah, that's right. Everybody is named after some sort of mineral. Uh, oh, okay, so that's the guy who needed the music box. No, neither of those are me. Uh, this is so weird. Like, it's not. The music is an interesting choice, but it's just the fact that there's so many words and so many exchanges for something that is fairly little. There's a lot of fluff in there, but the gaps in between the back and forth, it's like, you know, a lot of times in games there's just like 1 second too long in between a back and forth between VO lines. This kind of takes that and pushes it even further, where there's like 5 seconds in between an exchange that should be a normal conversation, not something that somebody says something that requires thought on the other person's behalf to return that dialogue. So it's so strange. The pacing of everything in this game is so weird. Evening, Shogi. It's good to see you. Is Final Fantasy 16? That's the new offline one? As much as I loved Final Fantasy for so long, oh no! All right, we're fine. I have been very bad about keeping up with it. Okay, go straight. Should see a gap in the distance, which I think is that right there. Jump over that gap. You will find a passageway door with ice covering it in the corner on the left. Use your yellow and red chemicals on that ice covering. Okay. So slow. And yet my fast move option is so risky. Oh no. Was it a bad idea? This is a fine idea. It was a great idea. Let's jump. Okay. I tried to play Pretty Boy Road Trip. I don't remember the name of it, but it was the recent one. I got the complete version of it with all the DLC and everything on sale sometime back. Because it came very highly recommended, and when I watched friends play it, it seemed very cool. But, man, I just don't have the time for a full-on JRPG these days. Alright, so here is the ice. A thick layer of ice coats the surface. So, okay, items, red chemical, do not mix. How would I know to do this? Oh, okay. It's time to do something else. Yellow chemical. Also says do not mix, but I guess pouring in... Is pouring one after the other the same as mixing? Probably the same as mixing. No, it's not mixing, Shogi. It's layering. That's a difference. Okay, now go down the stairs to the doorway at the bottom. Talk to the ghost in the corner. Okay. I feel like I'm descending into Metal Gear Rex's container. Oh, ha ha ha! This is a great thing to find on Haunted Moon. All right. My heart rate is just increasing at random. Is it because I'm seeing corpses? I would assume it's because I'm seeing corpses. But it's stopping at 139, which is not the you die now. Heart rate. Corner on the left. Are there ghosts in the corner on the left? Ah! Jesus Christ! Man, this is the moon. It's like the couple from American Gothic. None of these statements belong together in that order. That's so weird. You know, you're right. Once I finally ran into the ghost, I was like, oh, that's all there is. That's all it is. Okay, she seems to think that I'm the big bad guy who I'm probably actually hunting. But this guy wants the priest who was the first person who ever praised him and was also like a leader to him. Bizarrely. Yeah, no, I think that if there were like a V2 done of this game, so this is something that I think would be very cool, is to take this game and do a remake of it, and sand off the rough edges, revisit the heart rate mechanic, which can show up. It's the same resource used in a lot of different scenarios, kind of like it is right now, where heart rate, if it gets too high you die. It's your sort of signal for something weird and uncomfortable being around. It's your character's reaction to the environment. It elevates when you run, and make that more a little bit deeper. I'm actually really curious to see if this game does anything with it in a unique way during any kind of final scene. But yeah, it just basically revisit this. Consider this a mulligan. Try again. The thing is, like, the red stone and the person carrying it in the first two Echo Knights, whichever character that is per game, usually shows up more often over the course of the game, and the mystery is built up in a more dramatic way with more reveals, more, villain face time. At this point, I just kind of know that this villain is sort of in the distance. I've seen somebody angrily rattling the cameras when I look through on surveillance, and that's about it. So the impact of having an actual nemesis or somebody who I need to defeat in order to right some sort of cosmic wrong is much weaker in this one. Okay, now go back out to the lunar surface, and also design things like this. Like I have just gone through the trouble of very slowly, painstakingly figured out how to open this frozen door on the moon. Gone down. The only thing that I can do after having been shown a couple of fairly intriguing scenes is to talk to a couple of ghosts, and then I need to leave. Just some very weird anticlimactic flow. Okay, so airlock, mine entrance. Wait, what? Jump back across the gap, follow straight, go to the left. When you reach the other gap you jumped, and go to the airlock on your left. Okay. So slowly. Here I go. All right. Oh, this is all right. Cool. It turned out fine. But mainly, I want another Echo Knight in the after the fashion of. I want an Echo Knight after the fashion of the first two, which Duracine kind of was. I would love to play Duracine again. I just have to set up a PSVR. Okay. So I'm going back in here.
Adjusting atmospheric pressure. Please wait for pressure stabilization. Atmospheric adjustment.
Okay, so it looks like the conversation with the ghosts at the bottom of those stairs triggers the appearance of the priest, whose ghost is currently freaking me out. Also, when you get freaked out and your heart rate raises above a certain level, your vision dims. Oh, was this the guy who was rattling the camera? I'm guessing that's who those ghosts were. Well, thank you. Rosary necklace. What do you... What is happening? Oh, there we go. Okay, so I'm going to save the game since we've done some things that I don't want to repeat. Should it freeze? Oh yeah, this game has also been one of the very few games in recent memory to semi-consistently crash on PlayStation 2. Very weird. Yeah, I did too. It was not beyond what this game has shown it could do. Now this really has me feeling like I'm going down to the Metal Gear Rex hangar. I should be getting a call right about now from Master Miller telling me that Naomi is the traitor. While crows scream at me.
Adjusting atmospheric pressure. Please wait for pressure stabilization.
Oh no, I've got to go back out to the mine
Atmospheric adjustment.
area. Yeah, this is a death trap. Crunch. I appreciate that the metal here appears rusted, perhaps to create the, gothic industrial effect of an abandoned facility. But I don't know. Do things rust on the moon? Is there enough oxygen in the air for that to happen? I don't know. I don't know anything about moon rust. There we go. Okay, there was a ghost at one of these headstones. I need to talk to... Where was she? Was she over here? Ah! Oh wait, I'm not talking, I'm just jumping. Oh, he's super dead right now. Okay. I think I've triggered that already. Give the ghost here passenger's letter and tie pin. So let's see. Passenger's letter. Let's see. Nancy, after 20 years of marriage, I wonder if I ever made you happy. Fortunately, I'm not sure that I have. Work has occupied so much of my time throughout the years that I know we've lost touch with each other. Can only imagine how much you've had to endure while married with someone like me. Only hope that you can find it in your heart to forgive me. Please know that I am truly sorry and want to spend more time with you. Sorry I was unable to tell you this in person. Norman Spinell. I guess this is unprompted. It's a confession. Sorry, I'm hard to live with. No, we're still on the moon. We're still on the moon, so everything's full steam ahead. I'm giving a letter to a ghost, where her husband tells her that not even that he's done anything particularly egregious, just that he's just maybe a little fussy to live with, I think. She is equally confused. Alright, we're on the same page. Oh man. All right, well, the other possibility is, I guess, that they just like brought rusted material to the moon. It's like, it can't get any worse. We got red and yellow chemicals. If it gets icy, we'll just splash it on there. Okay, so now give her the tie pin. Rosary. Tie pin. Yeah, there we go. Indeed. And ask him what the hell is up with this letter. I'm intrigued that the material objects go with the ghosts when they pass on. Apparently, you can take it with you. Yeah, so I guess the tie pin was his, and like I'm just constructing this narrative based on just observing what has happened, not that anything has told me this, but I'm guessing that she thought that he was stuck back in the shuttle. She knew that she is dead and a ghost and can't do anything. So then I gave her the letter, which just confused her. And then I gave her the tie pin, which made her go, oh, he's already dead. He's really confused, so let's go. I'll go to him because he's helpless. So that letter, man, that's wild. Nope, just somebody else's relationship that is apparently somebody else's relationship that I just got a little snapshot of that she is just as confused by. Oh, now I'm going all the way back to where those ghosts were very upset that please just be no. Yep. I made the mistake of wanting to move a little fast. Yeah, so in that area and on the surface of the moon, if you if you fall into any of these chasms, you die. You don't get any sort of, nothing crunchy to it. You don't, like, oh no, my legs are broken, or oh no, I'm down here forever, or scream. You just silently accept that you're never getting out, I guess. Which is funny. I think there's a book titled Artemis by the guy who wrote The Martian, I think it is. Anyway, I am a Patreon subscriber to 372 Pages We'll Never Get Back, which is you might think of as a bad book club run by Mike Nelson of MST3K fame and Connor Listoka, who is also a comedian who works with the current riff tracks. And they did a multiple podcast read through of Artemis. So I actually listened to that series of episodes within Evening Taco Task Force. Good to see you. Yeah. Starfield's rocking here. Eat it, Moon. But yeah, so I actually had Artemis sort of fresh in the brain, playing this, and one of the things that book apparently that seems to do, I didn't read along with them while they were doing that series of episodes, but apparently there is much mention made of the fact that the gravity on the moon is 1/6 that of Earth. So, knowing that, I am extra skeptical that falling down into a ravine would actually, in fact, kill me from the impact. Just the idea that I can't climb my way back out. That's fine, but still, the drama's missing. Yeah, exactly, Ark. That's what I was thinking. That this is. I feel like I should be descending into Rex's hangar. Yes, it does. It started out as a I think a one-off podcast about Ready Player One, because people asked them to do a riff of it, but as a book, that's very difficult to do. So they book clubbed it, and then kept on. All right, so let's give this baffling letter. Mahafum, that's not a bad idea. One of the things... So this does make me realize that in ghost stories you rarely see like confusion as a sort of state of a ghost, like that kind of emotional confusion. Usually there's just like they're pretty clear that they're angry about something or sad or something. But yeah, Mahathun, so I often have difficulty watching dramas set in space for the precise reason that there is, a lot of suspense gained from oh look, everything is going really well, the mission is fine, my family loves me, I don't have any marital turmoil whatsoever. Finally, things seem to be going my way. Whoops, an asteroid hit. Whoops, I guess I'm hurtling into space. And besides the fact that the sort of like predictability of that setup of good fortune and that particular kind of bad fortune always seem paired closely together. I find that particular scenario fairly nightmarish, and you know, one would hope, I forget the name of the character, not David Bowman, but the other guy that Hal frisbee tosses out into space in 2001, who somehow survives in the and returns in later books. You know, I don't think that I would fare as well as he did.
Adjusting atmospheric pressure. Please wait for pressure stabilization.
Shrieking Shack. Interesting.
Atmospheric adjustment complete.
Never heard of that before. Yeah, 372 pages is interesting because, like, their relationship to the movies and books that they riff or make fun of doesn't seem to be as cut and dry as it might seem for, like, oh, I hate this so much that I want to devote time to tearing it down. Mike Nelson has fairly refined tastes in many things, it seems, just based off his way of talking about things. And so I think that there is part of him that genuinely likes and is intrigued by work that falls short of the ideal of good. So there is in his tone, which I admire this, there's even a sort of gawking respect at work that manages to be so weird and jank. Kind of, and I mean, kind of like how you know, a lot of Japanese games on the PS2, PS1, PS2 that had their own particular kind of jank. That is something that I enjoy and that I appreciate, and that I wish there were more of. I find the competent and smooth playing experience of middleware like programmable engines. I find their passable quality grating sometimes, though not as a developer. Clearly, as a developer, I value that. Frank Poole, that's it. Yeah, I think, was it 2063? The 2001, obviously, Dave Bowman focused. 2010, Dave Bowman, Space Baby focused. And I think Frank Poole either came back in that or 3001. I want to say maybe 3001 because somebody wakes up and gets hurtled back toward Earth. And I think that was him because he's your sort of he's your window into that world where his expectations might more match yours, so he can ask questions that we would ask of this future. Yeah, Mahafun, it's the mental stress part that that I would not like. Okay, we're finally back down to the oxygen storage area. We're going to talk to these folks. Ooh, something broke there. Okay, so give one of the ghosts the rosary. Which, crud. Here, let's do it through here. There we go. Which, I guess to be pedantic, a rosary isn't a necklace. It's just a string of prayer beads. Oh, clearly we took two different lessons away from whatever shared experience they had with a priest. Okay, that's how that pans out. I wish she pronounced his name like Stephen Colbert pronounces Paul Dinello's character's name in Strangers with the Candy, Joffrey. As he just sort of leans into the j sound, so that it sounds extra haughty. I'm very confused. So I'm guessing so the story that I'm putting together is that they were so angry at the person murdering everybody here that they stayed behind as ghosts, holding on to their grudge. Ironically, as the only ghosts whose main thing was they were grudge angry, they were not aggressive toward me. And so then they had to be shaken back to their senses toward the virtue of forgiveness by showing them the priest's rosary, and then they could let that burden go and then pass on. That's what I'm taking away from that. That is, I mean, being firmly on this side of that shift in Rowling's fate. That is a landmark shift to have documented, for sure. Especially given how important Harry Potter was to the internet and so many people. From, gosh, when did it start? 2000? When the first book was published? Yeah, just a real coming-of-age book for so many people. Okay, observatory key, right. Don't want to forget things that they drop. Alright, so now... save your game to the airlock door down here if you need to. Oh, I didn't know that this was, cool. Or did I? Did I save my game down here? Well, whatever. Oh, there are cameras on the moon's surface. Let's see, what are these? Oh, there's 3, so this would be... okay, there is a special cutscene out here. I'm really curious how they make these, sequences. Because it looks like they genuinely load up the environments and let you just observe them through this filter. And I'm wondering if they load up the full environments or just like low poly versions of them.
facility, everybody's dead now. I wish a red stone. My last wish, Claudia.
Huh. So it almost seems like Claudia is villainous. It's hard to be sure. I mean, the level of detail that I'm getting, and it looks like the environment is fully loaded in. I don't see any anything popping into existence as I zoom the camera forward and enlarge. So yeah, I think you're right. Evening round delay. Yeah, no, it's like Spooky Republic. Okay. How are you round delay? All right. Nothing but okay. Whoa. That does something weird with perspective when I zoom in. Is everybody in there? Everything in there is covered with ice. Is that the priest's body? I am well, thank you for asking. Okay. Well, let's go ahead and save the game so I don't have to... Just in case it freezes, I don't lose the special cutscene that I saw. Okay, so now we're going back into the primary facility, back across the moon's surface. Camera would be here? Yep, there's my camera. The oxygen situation is strange because it's carefully managed as all the airlocks are in the transitions between different outposts on the lunar surface. That's just, you know, like a storm cellar. doesn't seem to have any kind of like pressurized tightening on there. Pressurized seal. Like, Richard, could you give the storm doors a firm kick on your way out? All right. You do. If you thought Oz was weird in Kansas, Moon Oz is weirder. Okay. Stairs to the right. Go through the door on the right. Okay. Okay. I think I've successfully unhaunted the majority of this moon base. Alright, so we save our game here again. I swear those saves are going to be in the triple digits by the time we're done. Go to the central hall. Where's central hall? Okay. Alright, we should go over here and check out the Android painter's paintings, because I think we have freed most people, maybe everybody? You're right, Ark. They did find a way to make the game feel snappy, which is to to give you a section where it slows down by five times. All right. So let's see. We have names. Dudley Tungsten. Where are their names? Nikolai Ivanov. Duolingo. There we go. Katerina Pollux and Katrina Pollux. Which I guess if those were katakana names, those names would be literally identical. I don't know, Mahfoon and Roundelay, I think y'all are better, would be better judges of that than me, but it does seem like those are basically identical names outside of that A. Jacob Pollux. Victor Nickel. Yeah. The game design that says, you think this sucks? Wait till you see what we've got in store. Biggs and Alley. Alley and Biggs. Oliver Mollabden. Okay. Nonetheless, not the choice I would make if I were naming twins. Dan Bertrand. Martin Herkimer. Nancy Spinell. Oh, she was the widow who I freed. Paolo Dato, giant of a man. Alicia Turner and Ruthie. Nathan Gold, Alan Coleman. Dimitri Eukson. Igor Hingen, Christina Pegma. I don't think those are Russian last names. Sergei Descloizo. Clark Brogan. Henry Polybas. Nick Getchell. Kayla Konicalco. Alright, nope, this is definitely the largest man of them. Joffrey Ambligo. Ambligo? What an unusual collection of names. All right. Yes, the cat was cat was itself a ghost. So I had to make sure the cat could pass on too. And one of the puzzles that I needed to solve was to have the cat playfully dislodge an object that I myself could easily have removed had I been so inclined. Basically, a music box was stuck underneath a bench. I could see the music box under the bench and tried to get it myself because it looked like the kind of thing that I should be able to do. But I could not because that was a puzzle waiting to be solved by a cat. Okay, go into the door on my left. Time to give the ghost a pocket watch. Pocket watch.
This is the commander's pocket watch. You are giving this to me? Commander, thank you very much. I love you.
Oh wow, this astronauts team's dynamic just got much more complicated. I hydrated before the stream started, and I could go for it again, frankly. Okay, so she's free. Okay. So it looks like I am about to be at an intersection, at a crossroads, where I can determine which ending I want. Let me take a look at my map. See how close I am to a save point. Okay. So I'm going to save my game on a special file that that I'll use to bounce back to in order to get different endings. Alright. So this is my go-to for ending 1 and 2. And while this saves, give me 1 second, I'll be right back. And... the date set is the that is the default on this PlayStation 2. The battery, the internal battery that would register that, I think, is on the ropes. So whenever I fire it up, it just automatically defaults back to that. And yes, this is the original, right here. All right, let's go get ending 1. And I appreciate the hydration reminder. It's needed. This room doesn't circulate air quite as well as others do, so it can get a little stuffy in here. Okay. Go into the door that says energy area, which I think is actually up here. It's true. No, I've gotten so caught up in writing that I've forgotten to eat.
That stone was the beginning of everything.
Ah! How are you out here? Hold on, I want to check something. I'm gonna restart this. Oh my god, that analog buzzing is like a knife in my eardrum. All right. Yep, that will do it. Okay, that low battery is for my flashlight. I don't think it actually impacts my my health or survival. All right, so the reason why I wanted to reset this is that guy who was in that hallway has been in this room the entire time, and I want to see if he has moved. Okay, he has moved. Is there anything I can get from here? Nope. And did he draw that astronaut? Natalia Raskaya. Yep. Based. That could be. We could just be one ghost away from having the full set.
That stone was the beginning of everything. And that's what you will face in the end. What you will wish, and how your wish will be granted. I'm looking forward to seeing it through. Oh yeah, come to my room one last time. The picture's done.
This is so weird and slow. Like I comment on it so often, but it really it strikes me every time how dreamlike the molasses pace is. one ghost away. Whoa! Is he the last ghost? Da da da. Did you get his name? Kenneth Livingston. I've got to say, I really like this room and the way this is done. That would be this sort of like holodeck-like space with this environment stretching off forever. And looking down at the ground, you can see how it is. This is elevated off the. It's at a higher elevation than the grass extending into the distance, and these figures painted on top of the space. This is very, very evocative, very strange, and I like that. I don't know. I like this. This is maybe the best thing in the game, I think. Now, it's one of those things that it is a result of the technical limitations. But I don't think it's interesting. Like, things that you do under limitations are not the things that you would do if you had total freedom, and so they come out weirder than maybe they might otherwise, and that's really interesting to me. What was it? Was it Brian Eno who said that the technical limitations of a given medium are the things that we are later nostalgic for about it, pointing to different levels of low fidelity in audio recording, the low resolution and scan lines and VHS and things like that. As much nostalgia as there currently is about analog technology, I think that is an observation that we live daily. Got the escalator. Go up to the top. Excuse me. Okay, here we are. We're at the ending. So go down the hall. Observatory key. Yeah, something like that, where you have total freedom. I think I've done some of my more interesting work with less than total freedom. I don't know if they're good or bad, but there are 4 of them. This is my ghost fiance, by the way. That stone could have done a lot more work to get me out here, I'll tell you what. been running around the space station saving ghosts. That stone didn't do a damn thing. Okay, so the two endings, one ending per option here. So this is, I'm sure, the bad ending. The redstone never does anything good in any of the Echo Knight games. Oh, well, now you tell me. Whoa. But, like, he's, like, doomed to wander the moon as a ghost now, right? Like, getting your wish in exchange for your life, like, it seems that the whole, like, so in most Faustian bargains, I'm used to the soul or life being taken at a later point. You're just sort of offsetting your gratification and then sort of delaying payment on it. And this seems to be fairly immediate. I think I would simply say no to the cursed red stone. I don't know. I kind of feel like probably... So, assuming that such an object exists in this world, one must assume that if it has passed through enough hands that at least somebody has wished for those things. And looking at the world around us, it clearly did not turn out well. So I think that I would not want to wish it, because I would assume that somebody else had already wished it and it turned out badly. That's my way out of that problem. Alright, Ark, it's great to see you. Well, I'm gonna reset this and see the other 3 endings after this. What if everybody else assumed the same thing? Well, that's the comedy of humanity, right? I don't know if that's a good answer, but okay. Now we're not going to take the cursed stone. You know, Mahafun, that's a fine point. You have to imagine that whatever the wish granting entity is, they're probably really sick of somebody trying to game them. And it's like, all right, fine. You know what? I'm not even gonna monkey's paw that and make that $1 million the return on a life insurance policy from your favorite person. So does the android paint himself as a ghost and get a soul? So that would seem like a very From Software story, right? Like this android that is the most sensitive and artistic out of all of them, with kind of a Pinocchio thing going on of like, when can I be a real person? And then once his masterwork is completed, he has a soul and then kills himself. Like, that's a From Software character arc that's worth the price of admission, I'm gonna say. $1 million. Well, I guess depending upon when you live in history, that I mean, a million cattle would be wealth. Honestly, I would be less. I mean, I would just be upset if they didn't like me. All right. So there's no skipping this. We're watching it again. So I wonder if is that a projection of the Earth, or a holograph, or what? Because this is the one occult designed room in the whole game. So it kind of looks like something is being used to curse the Earth. Just say no. I should hope so. We're engaged. Although I guess given the relationships that have panned out in the rest of the game, that is not a guarantee. Oh man, I don't know. I thought that taking the stone and then stabbing myself in the heart, and I've got to say that being able to stab myself through that suit into my heart enough so that I die has got to be that's a strong rock. And Richard's got a firm jab there. That actually might be the good ending, because now I have to live with the death of my betrothed, whom I've searched across this moon station for, and I also don't have a way back to Earth? I'm not sure what that ending means. I mean, it's a FromSoft game, so probably. Yeah, there's 4 endings. I think this is where I confront the guy who unearthed the stone and deal with all that. So. So, yeah, unpacking that, I guess. So, Richard isn't cursed. We didn't see him live on as a ghost at the end of the first ending, so I'm assuming that by taking the red stone, he curses himself. At least in this instance, he will just get to die and pass on like a normal person and not be trapped in the cycle of the stone's curse. I don't recognize any of these VOs. I thought that maybe I would recognize a few names from that era of voice acting, but no, those are all new names to me. So interesting looking at the credits of Japanese games from this era in particular, because the roles on a dev team were so differently defined that based off of the titles, it's hard for me to know exactly who did what, especially on the creative and executive levels. All right, ending 3. Okay, so gotta talk to the android. It seems that getting this android's picture finished is the condition for activating any of the endings. If I were to sort of revisit this story, I would take like actualizing this android, sort of helping him through the Pinocchio arc, and making that a little more explicitly central to this, because I think that's neat. To trigger this branch, after I talk to him, I go back to his studio, and apparently there was a key on the desk called a master key that takes me to a different place. So I don't go to see Claudia at all for endings 3 and 4. All right, there he is. There we go. Elevator security. I kind of remember that, Mahafun. It's been a while since I played Dark Souls 3. That actually wound up being my favorite out of all of them because the Bloodborne influence on its design made it the most accessible to me. Yes, Taco. I like how Tears of the Kingdom handled the full heart projectile weapon side of the Master Sword. Connecting that to the throw mechanic. Residential area. Okay. All right. Oh, that's right. You offered to co-op that on stream, which I will take you up on. I don't know when I'm going to stream it, but when I do, I have you in mind for that if you're available. Yeah, Dark Souls 3 was... I completed Dark Souls 1. For some reason, I don't remember... I don't remember the ending of any of these games. I just remember the pathway there. Okay, use the elevator. Okay, and use the master key on the elevator control panel.
Access granted. Releasing lock.
B2. Ooh, spooky. Whoa. It's Claudia? This game doesn't give you your environmental object descriptions by approaching it and pressing the X button. You walk up to it and it does it automatically, and you can actually cancel out of it by hitting X, which is what I just did, so I have to kind of repeatedly smash myself up against it to get the flavor text. A painting of Claudia. Okay, that's all I wanted. Yeah, that's right, that's what I could have become. Letter addressed to Claudia. My dearest Claudia, it has been a while since I last wrote you. I hope things are well. We continue to face new challenges here every day, but I'm determined to see it through. As you know, building a lunar facility was a dream both my father and I shared. I have every intention of making sure the project is a success. I realize my leaving just before the wedding was abrupt and must have hurt you terribly, but as soon as everything is in order here, I will come for you straight away. Please be patient just a little while longer, my dear. I will write to you again soon. Richard Osmond? What? Am I the director? Okay. Is that me somehow? Did... Like, it's gonna be wild if that is me and I am my ghost who thought that he woke up on a crashed shuttle. I mean, that's what you would expect to find on the moon, right? Books about the moon. That seems to make sense. Communications records. Last transmission is dated a few years ago. Maybe that is the case. Maybe I thought I just woke up, but I'm a ghost piloting a spacesuit. I mean, you're wrong. The overwhelming majority of books on Earth are about Earth in some sense, so... Point well taken. Or point well made. I mean, I'm I'm just so excited about the moon, y'all. I want to live on the moon. I want to colonize the moon. I want to get cursed on the moon. I want to read about the moon. It's how I like to spend my time. Is there a battery pack over here? I'm only going to access websites that are hosted in the state where I live. Okay, so now apparently I go back up to Claudia with this in hand, and I have two different endings based on whether I select yes or no. So I'm going to save my game here so I don't have to go through all of that again. It seems likely. You probably have a higher chance of finding a bathroom on the moon than just sort of out in space. Given how much distance there is between anything in space and how much distance there is between anything on the moon. I think it's clear which one you're gonna have better odds there. Yes, people on the moon have 1/6 the bowel movements as people on Earth. No, that's true. Having even 1/6 the gravity is probably makes that easier than having no gravity. All right. I like this lock. I think that lock is neat. Stone did a bad job of granting that wish. Alright, ending 1, or ending 3. Is it the same thing, basically? No, I just menace the Earth with it. Okay, well, that's a neat twist. So, was that Kenneth Livingston android an aspect of me? Because it looks like Richard, it looked like Richard painted Claudia, suggesting that he himself was a painter. Yes, Taco, exactly. But, yeah, I'm also confused. So, Richard left Claudia on Earth, and then Claudia came back on her own. And the shuttle crashed, and she got the stone and wished to see Richard again, but Richard had been dead? I'm not sure I'm putting together the order of events right. But yeah. So the main difference there is the info dump from Ghost Claudia. So so to recap ending 2, whose motions we're about to go through here, except with the letter. Android Richard, whom we now know we are, carried Claudia to this room, and then looked up at Earth, and that was it. So I'm hoping that there's something a little more interesting than that. Now that we make the virtuous choice of not accepting the cursed stone, uh, and know the truth. I'm curious. In my inventory, so there's the promise ring, which I started the game with, and this is RO. This Richard's ring. This is the platinum ring, which appears to be an engagement ring, given the stud. At least I would assume so. I wonder what the what do my notes say here? While taking a trip into space, the shuttle she and her fiancé were traveling aboard crash landed on the moon. She disappeared at some point during the time that her fiancé was unconscious. Where could she have gone? Okay. So I know that's not true now. That she willed me into existence, and I arose from the I arose from the shuttle as a kind of homunculus. Ghost that was kneeling on the ground at the graveyard. She laughed somewhat bitterly at how stubborn she and her husband were with each other during life. She went to be with him after I gave back the tie pin. Oh, so when they hated me, they were not mistaking me for the director. They were actually acknowledging that I looked like the director because I was made as a copy of him. Yeah. That might actually be true, Taco. That's funny. Put aside his hate and found freedom. Ghost encountered the emergency oxygen storage area. She hated the director for what he did to all who lived in the lunar facility, but Nick's teachings allowed her to forgive him, and the ghost was set free. Ruthie, Cat's ghost. A priest dispatched to the lunar facility. He hated the fog for what it did to people, and remained in areas it enveloped with the hope of saving those trapped. He came to grips with his anger and was freed. Okay, so what is Kenneth's? Man from the studio. He is an android that kept track of all the events that unfolded here. A massive landscape painting covers the entire room. Images of those who perished at the facility line the walls. Okay, that's it. Oh, completion 99%. That's funny. You have no you have no way to save your game after you enter into the observatory, so that completion percentage will only cap at 99%. Located deep underground, the director's office lies in an almost complete darkness. The body of a man is slumped forward in a chair facing a large painting of Claudia. A broken communications terminal rests on the desk. Let's see. If I can, what's this? Do I have an entry for the studio? Yeah. Oh, yeah. Well, that's it. All right, here we go. Time to just say no to evil stones. You looked into it. Was there ever an English language version one? Because they did localize and distribute this, however, you know, however few copies there were. Oh wow. I'm guessing that window is closed. I feel like the climax of the game depends on my android character wishing for something, but we never actually see what that is when I get the stone, outside of the suicide and menacing the Earth. So wait, when they move on, are they going back to Earth? Oh wow, this is a full-on FMV. Look at that sweet frame rate. Wait, where is this? Okay, so that's where the ring comes in. And Shogi, I'll be glad to answer that as soon as this wraps. This is my Spock space burial for my for my meat form predecessor's fiance. Wait, is this the... No, I didn't launch her from here. I still feel like that leaves something to be desired. I mean, it gives resolution to her. No, she had resolution in all the other endings too. I don't know what that solves. Yeah, I'll chew on that in a second. Shogi, yeah, I've done a little bit of contract work, but that has wrapped, so I am still a free agent. So if you know anybody who needs writing or narrative design, I'm your guy. What were the other endings? Like, do you remember there were like 6 endings total, or that the story ended in different ways? Well, thank you. I appreciate that. Like, yeah, I don't know what I solved with any of the endings that's different from what I solved with any of the others, because my character's in the same predicament, the only difference being that I know the truth in 2 of them and I don't in the others. Maybe the bad ending implies that by having the stone, I am now going to become evil, and that I'm going to sacrifice the earth for a desire? I don't know. Okay, so this is the opening FMV. This is not the ending. Bold move to double dip on using your ending. Alright, so these are the Russian astronauts. They came upon the space station where they were low on resources. And they're walking around after the whole place has been consumed by the fog. This is that hallway where the tram is connected to. And Claudia is a ghost by the time they get there. So the Russians showed up after everything went down. And the ghosts got him. And that's probably... Okay. Maybe big ghost party at the space quad. Okay, so that clarifies what's going on in the intro now that, and that also helps to clarify the order of events in the game. And yeah, and Shogi, that's the other thing that is a bit confusing, is that I don't know if using the stone for me would have negative consequences. I guess, okay, so best guess, all rights reserved. Somebody should spell check that one at the very bottom of the screen. Best guess as to why those are bad endings, why that's the bad ending, is now that I know I'm an android, and now that I know I am lifeless, which she explicitly states, and I don't have a ghost, the stone works by exchanging another's life for your wish, and you become a ghost? No, though the person whose life you exchange for your wish becomes a ghost. This is very confusing. So there's no real benefit to me for being an android and having the stone, and I guess I could just make a ton of wishes and just like pull somebody from Earth as a sacrifice. So maybe that's it. Maybe the thing is that the android now has the stone. There's nobody else left on the moon whose life to take for his wish, so he just pulls from the Earth and people die on the Earth. That's the headcanon I'm coming up with, and that's the coolest thing I can think of. So I'm just going to check one thing here. Yep, that is all the endings. Just want to check and see if the notes have anything. Okay. Yeah, everything that you encounter has a text summary. So, yeah. Now, the twist to the expected Echo Knight formula for anybody who's been a fan of the prior two games is that Richard is an outsider, is a latecomer to the Stone's cycle of curse and wish fulfillment. And that's true for Echo Knights 1 and 2. And the twist in this one is that Richard himself was the person in charge of the stone and everything bad happening to begin with. So that's interesting. Yeah. Thank you for coming out, Mahafun. One last thing that I want to try. I don't think this would happen with a DVD, but let's just check. And Taco, yeah, to touch back on what you wrote, I think that those would be very interesting. Interesting endings. Sort of dealing a little more directly with the android part. Alright, so is there any sort of playback function on this? Nope, it's just the PlayStation 2 disc. Well, let's take a look at our save icon before we head out and relish it, because save icons on the PlayStation 2 are a thing of beauty. Is that Ada's? Yeah, that's Ada's mission in the PS2 RE4 port. Yep, there it is. That file right there contains all of my save data. Now that date right there, 4/12/2003, is the actual date on that. As a matter of fact, when I got my first PlayStation 2, I got my first PS2, which was a little bit later in its life cycle. Most PS2 games I'd played were from borrowed or PS2s or hanging out at friends' houses. Shinobi was the first game that I was given, so this could, in fact, be the first save file I ever created on a PS2. That's nifty. Yeah, this is a good Contra. And this is a recent save on here. Recent God Hand. Oh man, Haunting Ground. That would have been something to hold on to. That game has got a... Speaking of games that have ludicrously high resale values. Yeah, which one was write protected? Oh, you're just seeing the file protection entry. Yeah, some of them could be. I think I've got one on here that might be write protected. Let me see if I can find it. Yeah, so the RE Outbreak save file is copy protected. I think that if I have my Dragon... My Breath of Fire Dragon Quarter save on here, I'm pretty sure that one is too. Yeah. Yep, that one's copy protected too. And I could see this one being copy protected in particular because the game loop depends on sort of permadeath, and you get one permanent save and one temp save in case you need to shut it off. Yeah, exactly. They don't want you to cheat the permadeath mechanic. Fatal Frame 3. I never finished this one. Never finished this one. This is Code Veronica. This is Devil May Cry. Yeah. Curse of Darkness, which is very fun. Wow, that is that's a quality quality save icon there. Oh yeah. Okay, the God Hand here. This must be the Japanese God Hand because I have two different system configs here. One for Japanese and the other for US. I thought that you could only have one system config at a time on here, but apparently not. Oh yeah, I played a lot of Symphony of the Night. I have 200.6%ed that map many times, and even on a memory card have one entry of every single possible item in the inventory. Just a maddening amount of work in there. Yeah, Katamari Damacy. Look at the timestamps on these. Clearly, different ends of my my FF12 career. Oh, man. 8 hours and 27 minutes compared to 132. Look at that. Looks like I finished, last played that at 1:49:29 a.m. I wonder if I still have a copy of FF12. I'd be really interested in, let's see if I can I delete that message for you? No, it looks like it cannot. Interesting. Yeah, I'm interested to. Oh man, Lament of Innocence. I'm interested to fire these back up and take a look at my my old saves on these things and see what my progress was. Escape from Monkey Island. Really? I didn't know they still did that. Oh yeah, so funny story about Monster Hunter here. So I bought a copy of this game right when literally the day before the servers went offline. I thought, oh hey, cool, I've heard great things about this. I bought it, then the servers went offline immediately the next day, so this has all of like 1 hour put into it. Yeah, I thought that as a mod you'd be able to do that same thing too, and I can't from this iPad here. But Xenosaga 3, I think this game resells for an insane amount now, and I finished Xenosagas 1 and 2, but not 3. 3 was even little beyond what I had the patience for. What? No way. Like fan servers, I assume. I have, oh, another network config thing, yeah. This is FF10. Oh man. Remember grinding a lot. If this is the woods that I'm thinking of with a lot of random lightning strikes, I remember grinding that area a lot for some sort of drop. Well, that is a fun walk down memory lane on that. But this is probably the time where I should turn into a pumpkin and get some sleep. I am going to be out of town traveling next week, but I'm thinking about streaming something that is low demand on a laptop, if it makes sense to next Wednesday. But if not, then I should be back the following week. And yeah, I think that might have been what it is, Mahafun. But yeah, hopefully I'll be maybe pop on for a little bit with something I can play off and stream off Steam on a couple of years old laptop. And but if not that, I'll see y'all in a couple of weeks. So everybody, thanks for coming out. It's great to talk to everybody, regular faces and remembered faces alike. So y'all have a good night.